Little did they know that this war would last for another 100 years. But through this crucible of fighting, famine and plague, there would emerge the modern nation of France. England's King Edward III looked jealously across the English Channel. Wanting France for his own, he had added the fleur-de-lis, the symbol of France, to his own royal standard. This was an all-out declaration of war. And in 1337, he invaded. But France already had a king, Philippe VI. As the English burned their way across the land, Philippe's army and his legendary knights marched to meet them, and came face to face with the English longbow. A simple weapon, but the most devastating the knights had ever faced. The heroes of France fell to storms of English arrows. The war engulfed the French countryside. By 1351, the conflict was focused on Brittany. One fight stands out as a spectacular display of chivalry, and a symbol of the wider conflict between the two enemy nations. The combat of the 30 is still commemorated here in Brittany. It was a dispute between two local families. Supported by the opposing sides in the war, the French and English commanders decided to settle it through a trial of knightly combat. Each side would choose 30 champions to fight on neutral ground. France prepared to defend itself against England's finest. Intent on ending the suffering of the French peasantry, Sir Jean de Beaumanoir sent a challenge to the English commander. 30 champions on each side would compete in a tournament for final claim to Brittany. With the battleground of the halfway oak agreed upon, Sir Jean set out to gather support from local knights. As a knight himself, Sir Jean followed the strict rules of chivalry and was expected to protect the local peasantry and ensure peace.
Mon arway mène avec moi. Par vostre service. Incontinent.
Most medieval tournaments were friendly in nature, held for sport and glory, but the combat of the 30 was arranged between opponents mired in war. English raids had torn through the countryside of Brittany, and brought great hardship to the people.
Obéir, c'est vertu.
Bien savets quoque nos advienne.
Apertisets votre courage, compagnon. Quand je commande, avant. Avant, compagnon. Si comme vos voldrez.
Sir Jean spotted an English raiding party attacking a nearby
Je
farmstead.
suis votre chef. Affaiblissons l'ennemi. Obéir, c'est vertu. Théorie de vos molettes. Incontinent.
Intent on As a knight himself, Sir Jean followed the strict rules of chivalry and was expected to protect the local peasantry and ensure peace.
Fouer, Giride. Mon destrière y mègne. C'est comme vos
Compagnon!
Incontinent.
Most medieval tournaments were friendly in nature, held for sport and glory, but the combat of the 30 was arranged between opponents mired in war. English raids had torn through the countryside of Brittany and brought great hardship to the people.
Adjustments vos, compagnon.
Sir Jean's search next brought him to Sir Geoffroy Dubois, whose squires were contending with a detachment of English longbowmen. The knights would use the great speed of their war horses to charge the archers and overwhelm them. The English longbowmen fell, but the French knights knew the enemy would attempt to retake the hilltop fortification and steeled themselves for further attacks.
Si comme vos voleurs. Je suis votre serveuse. Ils se tiennent dans un tir.
With Sir Geoffroy by his side, Sir Jean had secured the outpost.
Certes. Si comme vos voldrez. Retrayez vos amouets.
Sir Jean spotted an English raiding party attacking a nearby farmstead.
Aveillez votre l'équipement.
The French knights defeated the English raiders, and Sir Guy de Rochefort joined Sir Jean's party.
Mij en mijn destriers soms prest.
Donnez-moi vos habits. Soyez prest, compagnons. Soyez avertis votre courage, compagnons. Quand je commande, avance. Je suis votre serveuse. Retrayez vos amouets.
Looking to secure his honor, a young knight held his ground on a bridge in Sir Jean's path.
Je veux vos...
Honorably conceding defeat in the duel, Sir Yves Charel joined the cause.
Page! Page commandement! Oyez. Bien savets quoque ne comprens. Place, si fes vos commandements. Un pied ci, un pied là. Comme vos plaisent.
Sir Jean entered the staging area for the tournament, where he prepared to choose which knights would join him in battle. Each knight would be accompanied by his squires, young nobles in training to become knights themselves. Sir Jean had selected his champions. As the sun rose, the two sides entered the arena, ready for the first round of combat.
Je ride au vos volets.
Avayez-vous. Let's donc, en avouez.
Claiming an easy victory in the first round, the French champions left the arena to recover their strength.
Attendez les commandements. Acces mets vos compelling continent.
Refreshed and reinvigorated, the French knights returned to the arena for another round of combat. The combat of the 30 was about to decide which nation would control the Duchy of Brittany. Triumphant, Sir Jean de Beaumanoir and his loyal knights claimed victory. The combat of the 30 had decided control of Brittany, in favor of the French. Little did the two sides know, this was just the beginning of a bitter war that would outlive them all. In the 100 Years' War, the English used a terror tactic, a raid through enemy territory, intended to intimidate and provoke the French into battle. It was called chevauchée. The principal weapon for chevauchée was fire. And one of the ways it was delivered was with incendiary arrows.
Challenge with incendiary arrows? Keeping them alight.
One type of incendiary arrow was fueled with gunpowder.
You've got charcoal, got sulfur, and we've got saltpeter. Saltpeter is the main ingredient. The more oxygen you put into it, the hotter it burns. Of course, when it's on an arrow, when it's being shot, you've got a turbocharged airstream.
The chemicals are bound together with brandy, left to dry, and poured into a linen bag. The extra long arrowhead is inserted into the bag and then tied off to secure it. It is then sealed by dipping it into boiling tree resin. This resin, which itself is highly flammable, provides a waterproof casing. It also shields the burning gunpowder, so the wind doesn't put it out in flight.
Now that looks deadly, and I really want to shoot it.
The art to shooting an incendiary arrow is timing. Too early, and it will go out. Too late, it will spit at you like a dragon.
That was just evil. That was great.
The word chevauchée means horse raid, and it was mobile light horsemen who spearheaded the attacks. They took gold and silver from the churches, valuables from wealthy citizens, and as much food and drink as they could find from anyone. A chevauchée was scorched earth warfare to create discontent amongst the enemy's subjects, perhaps even to get them to turn against their king. An army on campaign needed a decisive battle. And a chevauchée was intended to taunt the enemy to come out and fight. After victory at the Combat of the 30, the French faced devastating raids from England's Black Prince. But France's King John II was closing in. Jean finally caught the English near the city of Poitiers in September 1356. The French army outnumbered the English by thousands. King Jean himself joined the fight, but what seemed a certain victory for France soon turned into a nightmare. The English longbow devastated the mighty French army. An endless hail of arrows gutted the main French force. Then the English captured King Jean. The fight was over. The Battle of Poitiers was another catastrophic defeat for the French. The English had destroyed most of France's nobility in a single day. Now they turned their attention towards taking the French capital, Paris. the invaders marched unopposed towards Paris. The remains of some of the medieval walls of Paris still stand today. As the English army approached, the terrified locals sought shelter behind these defenses. Could France's capital withstand the full might of the Black Prince's army? The English Black Prince had raided the French countryside without mercy. And now his army had come for the capital. With the English on their doorstep, it fell to the French army and the people of Paris to defend the walls of their proud city. Hoping to avoid open battle, the French began fortifying the city, manning the walls and calling every available soldier to his post.
Que faut-il donc besoigner? Leur fatigue s'essuie.
As the French hastened their preparations, several detachments of English soldiers were spotted closing in on the city. The English showed no mercy, burning their way to Paris via 3 routes, each of which was home to villages and farms that supplied the capital.
Oyez les ordonnances. Pour vos servir.
L'homme bacille demeurer. Attendez les commandements, madams. Pouvons savoir, messieurs de Bois. Toast, ja, Lauritz. Besoin à faire?
Jetzt metz vos habillement. Oui, à barmaid.
Archers, les commandements viennent. On the pits, Archer.
Sur quoi me faut-il faire? Dictez-moi une Versailles. Je gagne mon gage.
Oil, messieurs des mouets. Vécuer Mérius. Oil, messieurs des mouets.
Advertance, 12 monde.
Alors, c'est bâti, je sais
Que faut-il donc?
Arrête tout le monde.
Giovanni Basti.
Archers, au lieu du commande Archer, allons vraiment.
Licenz Campus Brest. Les chevaux, je requête vos arrouets.
Mon Archer Brest, ici comme le
Oyez, 12 monde. Marche arrière, vous êtes restés. À votre commandement. Besoin à faire? Dostia Loretz. Oyez, 12 monde. Véquière, Mériens.
Secours! Vitesse! Même besoin.
L'ennemi nos archis!
Sous mes astiès! Tous de la Lauretz.
As the French continued to rally their army, the English took the last of the surrounding villages and had almost encircled
Archers,
Paris.
Prenez vos axes. Ne demeurez point cela de décorer. Que faut-il donc besoigner? Oui là, d'esprit.
Voyez moi besoin. Veille à la mine.
With the countryside in flames and the English at the city gates, the French army steeled themselves for battle. Now came the capital's true test, with the mighty walls of Paris hold against a fearsome English siege. The Parisian Guard raised the alarm as the English began their first assault on the city walls.
Archers,
Prenez vos axes. On déguerpit, archer.
Elle me soigne. Je vais reparier ce manouille.
Arbelettre, à Tchetsmetvos.
Archers, oyez commandement. Ne demeurez point slats to koi.
The French army fought valiantly, repelling the first English attack.
Archer, en la voie. Presse portrait. Me mettez à la voie. L'ennemi est attaqué!
Réussi nouvelle commandement. Ayez d'avion point. Nul orient non démourant. Qui brise de cette heure? Peñez avion moins!
Well est votre compagnon. Reste pour Jens d'Arms. Nos déguerpissons.
Archers, les commandements archers, allons brillement.
À Tchetsmetvos. Nos Despartans, Bremen.
De vers où faut-il archer? Le ferai-je donc?
Oh, me fa au trail. Lors bâti, je sais
Arbelettre, à Pointe-Tchetspas.
Archers, prenez vos armes. Obéissez au commandement. Obéis au commandement. Chacune d'elles doit valoir.
Tchetsmetvos, Arbelettre.
Chevalcheur!
Although the walls of Paris had been breached, the French could still hold the city, so long as its mighty landmarks did not fall.
Die Chevalcheurs sunt prêts! Choc tempère à vos advices!
Bayez moué besoin. Giovanni Bastir.
Besoin y a fait?
Giovanni Bastir.
Pex!
Sonnes Ligier.
Jets Mesvos Aviamen, Albelestier. Obeleste Paris. Bien. Albelestier, un despartement.
Vestiaire de mouet. Durant les bastures.
Advertance de demande.
Albelestre, la Jets Mesvos. Albelestre, la Jets Mesvos. Jets Mesvos, Yenoi. Qu'il soigne glace en four.
Oil, Mestier des Mouets. Giovanni Bastir. Bien, bien. Baïs.
Compagnon, Oyensbien. Sigrid
The French defense of their capital held firm, wearing down the English invaders one by one.
L'ennemi va marcher.
Jets Mesvos, Albelestre. Albelestier, à pointe de balle.
Aïe, vestiaire de mouet. Appareillement central.
Archer Mesvos. Archer. Comme le relais.
Albelestre, compagnon, aux allots.
Un besoin. Dos dialogue.
Mais ici, laisse commandement. La Jets Mesvos. Jets Mesvos, Aviamen, Albelestier. Jets Mesvos, Albelestre. Albelestre, annonce. À part main.
Archers. Prenez vos armes. Archers à l'avoué. Que faut-il donc besoigner?
Oyens des ordonnances. Lors batige s'estui.
Oyez bien, comme ça, compagnon. Oralement.
De version partie de baisse de Sestipas. Sayens Archers.
Albelestier, pointe de balle.
Bon, va se...
Wait est ma vouée.
Oyez Mesvos.
A Jets Mesvos, Albelestre.
Yen vos oi. Amen. Archevêque de Versailles!
Que faut-il donc besoigner? Advertence, doucement. Giovanni Basti.
Compagnon, ici les commandements.
Traître ennemi! Quenchers
Sir
Christian!
compagnon, en bonne. Oui, en parler.
Archers! Les commandements de guerre! Gendarmes! Baillez moins besoin.
Advertence, 12 monde. Exploite les répartements.
Archers! Oyez le commandement!
Prince, suis vos servir!
Archers! Prenez vos armes! Archers! Archers! Oyez le commandement!
Aime besoin.
Pour me pas trahir,
Oyez les ordonnances. Besoigne à faire? Oyez, tout le monde.
Adjustment must outline first. Obelisk pareil.
advertence seulement.
Je veux ça
The enemy grew ever more desperate as their ranks thinned and their hopes of victory faded.
J'exploite les répartements. Retravaillement en droite. Tous à l'oreille. Oyez les ordonnances. Tous à l'oreille.
Obelisk me baisse à la voie.
Bonne besoin n'est effect. Advertence tout le monde. Lors batige s'estui. Pas de besoin, et je fais.
Au Belestier. Reste paré. J'arrête. Une small pour les sides. Jetsmets vos avions en Belestier. Si vous m'extraire. Au Belestier, au Belestocol. Avant.
Advertence, 12 monde.
Jetsmets vos avions au Belestier. A Jetsmets vos au Belestier. Compagnon, ici les
Defeated and demoralized by the strength of the French defense, the Black Prince's army abandoned their siege of the capital. Paris celebrated victory, but this was not the last test the French would face in their struggle to win the war.